librarians. Is there anyone that you've worked with in the past that you feel like, wow, we brought that person on the show, it'd be even bigger? Who would that be?
The first person that comes to mind is James Earl Jones. Because I spent 7 months on Broadway with James 2 years ago. Matter of fact, I just saw him last night. Why he's on my mind in his Broadway show that he has on now with Cecily Tyson. But I know he has a show, right? He's an Agent X, so I guess. But I would love to steal him for because he could be whoever he wanted to be if he came on the show for sure. But people like that you get to work with. And I haven't run across that with them in the Librarians so much. There's not that many guest stars, although this year we have more. Because we've got a big cast, and the cast has to be, of course, you've got to have a villain, you have to have characters who are affected by the villain. But a lot of the show is the family of the nucleus of the cast. So there's not tons and tons of guest stars like there might be in a procedural where every week there's got to be a new villain, etc. Our characters have a tendency to go over several episodes.
Wow.
Was there a lot you knew about him when you first got the role, or did that kind of evolve? Did you throw like your own stuff in at the beginning?
Well, I often say that I'm not well trained as an actor, so what I come with is a glibness and some facility with comedy to be able to dance around stuff and make it seem real. The Bible on Jenkins was very short. I've written one myself that I don't, actors do that and they don't share it necessarily. And I made up some things about him that nobody knows that aren't necessarily applicable to him. But it's just stuff for me to at least have something to grab onto and look at and examine. But pretty quickly in season 1, as the scripts came, it was obvious that more about him, And I've often said, and this is a writer. The writer, the creator, is the mother of every character. Obviously, they create them. And in a series, when the actor gets hold of it, and if it's successful and the actor's good, the actor becomes the father of that character. And so both influence the character's life as the series goes on. And the father has a great deal of influence on the child, quote unquote, the character, because he's the one in front of the camera. They can tell you, shut up, don't do that. But if they don't, and my tendency is to, I'm a musician by birth. New Orleans, grew up playing the clarinet. So I always like to add grace notes to things, and sometimes my grace notes wind up staying, they don't wind up on the floor, they wind up on the TV. So when a writer sees that, they'll write to that as well, so it becomes a real partnership then.
Have you told John Rogers you want to write in any musical numbers?
No, not yet. Knowing John Rogers, he'll do anything that's crazy enough to do that. He is, for sure.
You've played a lot of amazing characters. You've brought them to life. Out of all the characters you've played, who would you bring on as a librarian?
Ooh, that's an incredible question. I love that.
I would have to think about that for maybe Harry Anderson.
Yeah.
Because he's already a magician, right?
Save on special effects.
So exactly. He brings his own props.
Right.
And then I think, as far as a wizard kind of librarian, would be James Spader, because of his he's a little busy with a little show he's doing right now.
Yeah.
So, but that's a good question. Thank you.